Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for the delay. So we'll get started here on this market debrief. Some key things to look at here, especially given how kind of weak we closed with the dollar, but I do think that that's somewhat temporary. Um, Hold on, I'm getting some sort of feedback. Let me try to manage this. I may have a YouTube page open or something like that. All right. So let's get into it. Uh, we have the dollar index. So the dollar is still selling off. It was a little bit weaker in the afternoon, honestly, and that was part of the reason why gold ended up catching a little bit of a bid here. But we are holding this level relatively. I would like to see it, frankly, close higher than the 61.8. But what you can still say is that we're going down in a channel, and the channel, if it does break to the upside, you'll see some targets to the upside. Now, one might look at the dollar index as potentially trying to put in a wedge here. We'll see if it does. But you could say that the dollar index may hit some new lows, but as long as it's not crashing, there's a good chance that we ultimately resolve higher. In that case, the crude oil pulled the fast one on all of us and decided that it didn't like the lower level of the range. It wanted to go to the higher end of the range, and it has done exactly that. It's frankly taking on liquidity up here, and I still think it's lower, but you do have to temper yourself because now we're at highs, and it's been a frustrating trade as oil sometimes does and is. You'll notice that up here, oil, when it hit its double top, actually was very frustrating, back and forth in a range for quite a while, up and down, and we're kind of replicating and doing the same thing. Now, the issue is it's not a bad place to sell above 70, 83.70, but I also said that above 83, so go figure. All that being said, don't be surprised if you come in tomorrow and you see it down at 82. That's the nature of this oil. We are still at that 61.8% line, and actually, if you want to look at it, much like I said, you needed a double top. Well, here you are getting kind of a double top setting here in the 83, 70 range, give or take. So expect maybe even a little bit higher tonight. Maybe we go 30, 40 cents higher, and then a drop tomorrow. And that's always possible because it's oil. We've got our next one here. Let me go to let me go into the gold. And this is, I took the gold trade and signaled it at 2032. It did rally a little bit, rallied up to 37. We did not close above the 61.8% line. We've actually closed below the 61.8% line and closed below the 50% line on the 36-minute chart. So the key thing here to recognize is that there's still plenty of resistance above this 34.41 level, and we never really closed above this level here, which is 33.80, 33.90 on a half-hour chart, and we're selling off. So hang on to your hats, folks. I think that we might see a sell-off here back down to the lower end of this range over the course of the next 24 hours or so. So let's watch and see if that happens. the thing that you do want to be concerned about is any close above this 34 level. Again, I think that's while you'd still be in the short, we really do want to just sell off here straight and see it go down. And so far it is. And that's our thing. We don't want to see it move higher than that. Same thing with silver. Silver, of course, has, I think, broken trend, and we're on the backside of it, but we'll still see over the course of the evening as to whether or not that's the case. Silver is also in the middle of this channel that I do think resolves. If it resolves down, it's going all the way down and going down very far. So let's keep an eye on that one as well. But this is probably fifth and sixth test here of these levels, and it's getting to the point where it's either going to break it out or we're going to start to sell off, and we're going to sell off massively. There is a lot of folks expecting a bullishness out of silver, and if silver disappoints, gold will disappoint as well. So there is that. Very happy today with the trade that I'd called on stocks. Stocks went through the roof, basically recovered all of it what it lost over the last 24 hours, and now we're really approaching or going to go to new highs, ultimately trading to this objective here in between the 50 and 61.8% line of the all the way halfway back short. And then we will see if the shorts are really there. If they're not, and we continue on, then Katie bar the door, the bull market's back in place, and we could go to new highs. It's all going to depend on what this market in stocks decides to do in this 50 to 61.8% level roughly. You see the same thing in YM in the Dow. Dow ended up lagging a little bit, partly because there was a big bid into Microsoft's earnings. Microsoft did not disappoint. Microsoft has done well. Microsoft is not in the YM. It is in the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. So that boost has kicked up those two. But you're still seeing good numbers out of YM, and it's at 38,340. So I think we're up 400 points there on that trade. And then here's the NASDAQ, which recovered all of its losses and now is back up at highs, sitting just below the 50% line or above the 38% line, and we're right where we were. This is a critical level for the shorts. Frankly, if you're short, you better hope that it stops here, because if it doesn't, it's going to keep on going. And that's our hope, is that we're long, and we're going to expect that it's going to keep on going into this golden zone between 50 and 61.8%, possibly even higher. So just be careful if you had any shorts. I wouldn't recommend it. Long is the place to be and continues to be. And here's the Bitcoin trade. Bitcoin recovered nicely on the back of the NASDAQ. And so you can probably safely assume that we're going to at least test the 50% short again, if not the 61.8% line. And this is going to be the interesting test both tomorrow and Monday. Will be what does the NASDAQ and these rest of the stocks do over the rest of the week and into next Monday, because there is a chance that we turn very bullish if we can bust through some of these levels and get beyond this 61.8% line in ES and YM. Again, we always almost invariably seem to go beyond the 61.8% line in the NASDAQ, and so that's pretty much where that goes. Any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to open up your mic or get into the chat. I am looking at the chat right now. Because we have a limited crew today, I'm assuming that there isn't too much going on, and we did do this. A lot of things haven't changed from the mid-day market, but things are still good in terms of where we're at with equities. Will be interesting to see where we ultimately go with this oil trade. As I said, this is test number 2. So I'm not going to give oil too much more space. I do think I can give it 40 cents more to 50 cents more. So call it 84.20 on the upside. And we've made good amounts of money back and forth, but I don't really want to go too much further than that because I am expecting a continuation of the downtrend. We're just not there yet. And with equities doing what it's doing, gold may be trying to piggyback off of the equities. So I give it a little bit of space, but maybe not much. If you've got hopefully you've got profits in more than enough profits on the equity side to offset anything that you're potentially enduring here. I know that I'm always big onto break-even trades, and so from my trades earlier in the week, I did take some profit when I could, but I also got knocked out at break-even. So I'll be looking to truly reestablish some positions here. But for the time being, I still like the short call from 84.70 and ultimately, or 83.70, and ultimately think we get back down there. So that's where we're at right now. I will let you guys go, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.